Hey guys, we're back with the Great Ace Attorney. I don't know if I have time to do like a full hour-long video today, but I'm doing it. I'm just going. If I have to cut it, that happens. No, Maria's here. So witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Eugene Mikotoba, lecturer in forensic medicine at the Imperial Yume University in Tokyo, Japan. Why is she just looking? She knows a fellow coroner when she sees one. And Professor Mikotoba, the young lady beside you, is... Ah, this is Dr. Maria Gold. Scotland Yard's practicing coroner. The daughter of Dr. Scythe, I understand. But how old is she? She had to have known him as a kid, right? Yeah, 19. I'm afraid I can't tell you why she's here. She just appeared. You summoned this strange Japanese man as a witness to that autopsy? You don't summon Mama. That makes no sense. She was there too. That's about the size of it. I've had her eyes boring into the side of my cheek constantly, whilst in the antechamber too. Poor man. The idea of it's making me shudder. The revelations about Dr. Scythe that came to light some days ago defiled the reputation of the entire judiciary. She is therefore deemed unfit to appear as a witness in today's proceedings. The Ministry of Justice's decision on that is final. Well, we wouldn't want any more perjury to be committed, would we? Oh, mask on. The Ministry of Justice? Some questionable strings are being pulled, I think. I remember you, Dr. Mikotoba. I certainly never expected to be meeting you under these circumstances. Yes, it's been a long while, Roy Strongheart. The prosecution understands that you were a visiting student of forensic science in London until 10 years ago. That's right. I studied under Dr. Wilson at St. Simmers. So you were present at the autopsy of my brother, Lord Clint Van Zeeks. I was, yes. I assisted Dr. Wilson with the entire procedure. Mama is far more skilled than any Japanese man. Well, Dr. Wilson asked me to be his primary assistant on that occasion. This autopsy report was actually penned by you, I believe? Yes. He noted all the doctor's findings, and when we were done, he read through in the document and signed it. Poor Mama. Secondary assistant, she wouldn't have had such a good view of all the innards. Why do we have this random goth girl on the stand? So, Professor, do you remember Inspector Gregson? Yes, of course. If it wasn't for his insistence, Lord Van Zeeks' autopsy would never have happened. He was absolutely convinced it would reveal decisive evidence against Genshin, you see. So Lord Strongheart had to entreat the nobility to allow it to take place. Do correct me if I'm wrong, my lord. It was a result of that autopsy that a mass murderer was apprehended and justice was done. Gregson admitted it before he was killed. He admitted the results of the autopsy were fabricated. You were there at the time, so you must testify. You have an obligation to tell the truth about what really went on. Absolutely. That's precisely why I'm here. That's why I'm here too. Very well then. You'll give your formal testimony now, witness. But before you begin, a word of warning. Oh? You'll state truthfully and accurately what you saw and what you heard at the time. I wouldn't dream of doing otherwise, my lord. The moment your testimony verges on supposition, I'll expel you from my courtroom. Remember that. Let's hear it. The autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks. From my own observations, I couldn't say there's any indication of the autopsy results having been fabricated. Death resulted from a wound made by a Western-style sword transfixing the heart. That I found a little strange. There are no other signs of internal injury, nothing questionable at all. It's just that beautiful but dangerous piece of evidence removed from the man's stomach. Well, was she there as like a 9-year-old watching? Or does she know from her mom's stories? I like to think, bring your child to work day. Presumed to have been swallowed by the victim as a way of posthumously identifying his assailant. Wait, what was it? Come on, tell us what it is! No indication. Nothing to suggest fabrication? Professor Mikotoba, are you certain about that? Well, nothing I could possibly identify as such. Must let's swear it to in testimony. Ah. Ha 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 ha. Well, that clears things up nicely. The only fabrication here, Asuki, has come from you. What? You claim the inspector confessed just before his death. But that is fabrication. No! He freely acknowledged it. I swear he did. Freely? With the tip of a sword at his throat? The man was clearly at his wit's end. Wit's end, a sword in League of Legends. That's what he meant. He was at his wit's end. The court will give no credence to this confession that was uttered in obvious desperation. Quite simply, there's nothing questionable about the investigation of Lord Clint Van Zieks' death. With the testimony we have, without question, uncover the whole truth of the matter. Hey, I'm allowed to cross-examine. There's a right I have. If I may, my lord. There's most certainly something questionable about it, and the whole truth does elude us, I feel. I beg your pardon. Well, you're obviously aware of the facts of the case. All 4 of the professor's previous victims died when an enormous beast was set upon them that ripped out their throats. Oh, such horrifying crimes. But curiously, the killer's last victim, Lord Clint Van Zieks, suffered a different fate. Yes, you're right. You're stabbed through the heart with a sword. That's enough. I believe I warned you about this, witness. Promise to curtail your testimony as soon as it entered the realms of supposition or speculation. I mean, that's just stating the facts. Very well, my lord. In that case, the defense will pursue a conclusion to this during the cross-examination. What? I have the right to cross-examine every witness after testimony. And I fully intend to exercise that right. Yunosuke. I'm afraid that even the presiding judge has no authority to contravene the letter of the law. As I'm sure every member of the judiciary present here in the gallery would agree. Yeah, the guy with the top hat, she's talking to me. She's still just looking. Little weirdo. Very well. You may begin, counsel. The moment your argument strays from established facts, do not hesitate to bring the cross-examination to an end. Proceed with caution. Yes, my lord. Okay. First thing, press the piece about the evidence. Tell me what was in... It was his stomach, right? Yep. What was in the stomach? What did he swallow? What exactly was it, though? What does beautiful but dangerous mean? Well, it was sparkly and round with a hole, as if it might slip through over a finger, perhaps. A ring? It was a ring, belonging to Genshin Asuki. My father's ring? Does it say the victim's stomach? The time Genshin wore a large ring on the digitus quartus of his left hand. The fourth ring finger. The digitus quartus? I'm sorry? You could just call it his ring finger like a normal person, Mikotoba. And I understood it to be some sort of keepsake. My father left Japan for London 16 years ago. I was 8 years old. I remember that ring. You know? My father's possessions were sent to our family home in Japan after his death, but the ring wasn't among them. Obviously not. It was a key piece of evidence. It remains under lock and key in the drawers at Scotland Yard to this day. After the autopsy, Genshin was summoned by the police to check for the presence of his ring. It wasn't on his hand, of course. Moreover, there are deep abrasions. Wait! Was the thing something out of a dog collar or a ring? I remember it as a... Hold on, I'm going back to the video. Hold on, everyone. Manage videos. I could probably just not. Just look at my video list. Last run of case 2. Just look at the thumbnails. I'm glad I put the case number in the thumbnails. This is convenient. There we go. Cannot not finish. Hi, Pastor Horsey. You're printing it all on all of... I can the nice parts. 2-part story? Yeah. You gotta wonder a bit more. Apparently? Sorry. Oh, there we go. CG.
Your dark stains in yeah. Collar? It's huge though.
Yeah, okay, it's not a ring. Okay, it's a collar. The deep abrasions on his finger would have been pulled off. They arrested the man there and then, right before my eyes. How could they? I brought the ring along with me today. Oh yeah, let's go! What? Here it is. A bit dusty from years in the stories. Good gracious. That's it. Haven't seen that in 10 long years. And was it found inside the victim's stomach? Yeah, it kinda hurt on the way down. Yes, I'm afraid so. You hesitated there, Professor Mikotoba. Should we read something into that? Ah, well. Just thinking back now. I didn't actually witness the moment as extracted from the victim's body. Oh my, really? That precise moment, Dr. Wilson asked me to fetch him a new scalpel, you see. Dr. Gory. The removal of historic evidence from the stories requires my consent, does it not? Well. You know, Goth Girl's gonna do what Goth Girl's gonna do, alright? However it came to be, the court cannot deny that this is crucial evidence for today's proceedings. Very well. You may submit it. Yay! It looks sharp enough to cause a very nasty scratch. Yeah! It's not the sort of ring normally seen in Japan. It almost looks like claws protruding from the jewel. Just examine it very carefully. Very carefully indeed. Anything? Lines at all? These fat claws are doing a good job of protecting the equally fat gemstone. If you're clumsy, give yourself a rather nasty cut. Ow! My finger's bleeding. Claws really are sharp. So if he swallowed it, it would have cut him. Like on the way down. That was very quick clumsiness, Mr. Naruto, even for you. Would make such a dangerous ring. Couldn't swallow it without doing yourself some fairly serious damage, surely. Sticky mochi bun of about the size will go down much better. Yeah. Someone as clumsy as me would probably manage to choke on it somehow. Just make sure there's not a needle in it. Wait, what was the needle in Higurashi? Or something. Okay, I'm looking at it very carefully. I'm not seeing anything. But I'm still looking very carefully, Suzato. I don't see anything else noteworthy. Is there anything in the autopsy report about recent scarlet ink stains visible in the little ring fingers of the right hand? No document in the corresponding ink was found. Okay, I forgot about that. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body! Is this updated? We might have to press this. It feels like we need to update a statement. Although, like, I get what it's going with here. Correct. Further investigations by Scotland Yard remain admitted to his crimes. It's a lie! My father is no killer! Very fancy, so is you! You twisted the truth. Hey, are we still on that? Your hatred of me doesn't change the facts that were established 10 years ago. My brother Clinton closed in on the professor. Suppose the man to put a stop to his lethal rampage. I thought we were all on team versus Strongheart now. 10 years ago, something happened that's been weighing on his mind. Couldn't say were his words. The phrasing was very deliberate, I'm sure. Whenever he had his suspicions all these years. And used this cross-examination to prove what really happened and remove any trace of doubt. Be right beside you, whatever may happen. Okay, right here. There are no other signs of paternal injury. Nothing questionable at all. Okay, I'm glad I went back. Okay.
Objection!
The court has heard that the ring was extracted from the victim's stomach. You didn't actually see it being removed, did you, Professor Mikotoba? That's right. As I said in my testimony before, at that moment, I was fetching a replacement scalpel that Dr. Wilson had requested. In other words, you can neither confirm nor deny whether the ring in fact really came from the victim's stomach or not. What are you suggesting, counsel? That the ring was never in the victim's stomach to begin with. It's entirely feasible that Dr. Wilson fabricated that detail about the autopsy. What are you saying? Dr. Wilson? That Dr. Wilson was in possession of the ring in advance, it was somehow stolen from Mr. Asuki. He produced it during the procedure, pretending to have found it there and then in the victim's stomach.
Objection!
Supposition at best. What possible evidence do you have to support such a rash claim? This evidence, right here. That's the autopsy report. It's explicit in that report, Counsel. Other than the ring, nothing unusual is noted internally. Not sure how you intend to prove your point. You've already done it for me, my lord! Haha. The lack of internal injury says it all. What? To swallow a ring of this size would require considerable effort and determination. In addition to its size, there's the sharp claws around the gemstone to contend with. My brother was a determined man. On the brink of— he's so determined he didn't scratch his throat up. Or like, you know, while swallowing it. I almost said while drinking it. On the brink of death, even more so, I'm sure. He would have stopped at nothing to ensure that evil killer is brought to justice. But if he really had swallowed that enormous ring, it's inconceivable that no traces of its passage down his throat would have remained as internal trauma. No! And there you've arrived at the sticking point. That's precisely why I had my doubts about the findings myself 10 years ago. But why didn't you say something at the time? I did. I still remember the conversation I had with Dr. Wilson in the laboratory that day. Are we gonna see what kind of person he was? Look at this! This is a very curious thing to find in a man's stomach, wouldn't you say? But isn't that rather peculiar, Dr. Wilson? What's the matter now, Mikotoba? Well, you saw a little ring of that size, the sharp metal claws that it has. Surely you'd expect to see some damage to the throat and esophagus, torn mucous membranes at the very least. Dr. Mikotoba, may I remind you that I have vastly more experience than you. Oh, he pulled that card. I'm terribly sorry. You think of plenty of ways to explain why no injuries would be seen. Now let's say this. The victim would appear to have ingested the item as evidence to identify his assailant. Go ahead, write it down. So I was right. Dr. Wilson deliberately fabricated the results of the autopsy to implicate my father. I'm disappointed, Counsel. That argument is nothing more than speculation. I mean, I think it has a good basis. What? Dr. Wilson was Britain's leading authority on forensic science and autopsy work. There's no scientific basis on which to doubt the man's expert opinion. Pardon the interruption, my lord, but damage to the mucous membranes of the throat is easily identified even in living subjects. You're using a device called an endoscope, recently demonstrated in practical use in France. I want one! The government can pay. I don't think so. We're not paying for that. Dr. Gordon, rest assured that your removal of evidence from the stores without permission will not go unpunished. Hey, Maria, you can do the autopsy of Strongheart when we're done with him. We open up the dead to find the truth. I beg your pardon. But Mama, she chose to stitch your corpses up with all your secrets inside. That's wrong. Dr. Gory, it's looking as though she's chosen to walk a different path to her mama. Oh, how many glasses has gone through this trial? Yes, the ring. What about the ring? I've just remembered something. An earlier incident. What incident? The one I recounted to you before. About a memory I have. Of Genshin Asugi saving my life. What? My father saved your life? It's 10 years ago on a foggy night. Yeah, I remember. Ish. Don't make a peep, you're coming with us. Oliver is saying, is the ring? Oh yeah, there's the ring. Face is obscured by scarves. It looks smaller in the CG. Like in the little image, it looks huge. Looks like I knew there's silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me. It was on the ring finger of his left hand that he used to wear the ring. Are you saying? Always believed those thugs were after me. Now I'm starting to question if perhaps I wasn't the intended target after all. Wait, but when was the ring shot? Genjin was arrested 2 days after that attack. In that short interval, the decisive evidence needed to indict him was miraculously found. Wait, sorry, hold on. Did I misread that? Blood was seeping from where you wore the ring. You mean the ring was stolen from him? Think that that's what those thugs were after that night?
Objection!
You pathetic coward. You expect me to believe that you weren't involved? What do you mean by that? It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who took it. You stole my father's ring. You set the whole thing up so you could plan it. Accuse him of murder or something. Kazuma? Open your eyes. Runosuke. I love the creepy music playing. You must know deep down. The truth can be completely obscured even when your judgment is only slightly clouded. At the moment, you seem to be floundering through a dense fog. Is that why you're so insistent I should be present in this trial? To see you like this? Well, this is an amusing spectacle. What a grandiose expression on your face. As if you were Lady Justice herself. Seems you've thoroughly convinced yourself of this alleged fabrication of the autopsy results. So much so that you're apparently blind to the blatant contradiction that would be born out of it. What? That's extremely hard to believe. Let us imagine that there's some misconduct during the autopsy. If that were the case, why would Asugi not have disputed the findings in his trial? Well, it was a closed trial. We don't know anything about it. In the closed court hearing 10 years ago, the defendant never once denied the claims against him. Isn't that right, Lloyd Van Zeeks? Oh. Well, if he was being... like... what's the word for it? Like, not blackmailed, but... threatened. Threatened is the word. That's not a hard word. That is indeed correct. Upon hearing the verdict of guilty, he merely closed his eyes, quietly accepting the judgment. The actions of a man who has accepted responsibility for his deeds and is resigned to his fate. But then... oh my, that is very strange. If Mr. Asugi did nothing to oppose the charges against him, then... that surely means there's no fabricated evidence. An obvious conclusion at which you should have arrived many minutes ago, Prosecutor Asugi. Your twisted loyalty and clouded judgment are hampering your ability for logical thoughts. Yeah, can we get Dracula on the stand? Ah! Genshin Asugi's silence at his hearing can mean only one thing. There's no fabrication of evidence during the autopsy of his final victim 10 years ago. What's in the Asugi papers again? First, that upon my death, any and all material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son Kazuma. It is with deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land, knowledge that I'll never see my homeland or family again. I regret nothing about my chosen path. It's the only weapon he has left. Ah! The autopsy was all above board. There would be nothing to stop Lord Strongheart bringing this trial to an immediate conclusion.
Objection!
Kazuma? Oh! He's back with resolve! Did you hear that sound effect? Thank you, Runosuke. If it wasn't for your frank words just now, he's gonna rip off his costume and he'll put the headband back on. This trial may very well have ended prematurely. Kazuma? What's this latest absurdity, Counsel? My lord? Your reasoning is perfectly sound, but for one giant hole. I beg your pardon. Is this the same thing as usual? You claim that my father's silence is due to the fact that there's no fabricated evidence. There's another possible explanation. You've overlooked the possibility But he had a reason for maintaining that silence.
Objection!
Silence that would lead him to him being convicted and sent to his death. The autopsy results were an invention. There's no conceivable what is that pose? Reason why the man wouldn't have protested.
Objection!
Though that is a great pose. Oh, those results are an invention, alright? There's no question of that. Or are you forgetting that 2 people with a connection to that autopsy have been assassinated? Yeah, they probably threatened, hey, we're gonna go assassinate your son if you don't stay quiet. If I force the grievances I feel from my mind, I start to see you in a very different light. I think perhaps it's you who's been living in delusion these 10 years. Me? Kazuma-sama has created one last chance for us here, Mr. Naruhodo. You can only sure there's a reason for his father's silence in his trial. Reason why the man would have said nothing, even though he was innocent. Could have been part of some negotiation, perhaps? Enough rhetoric. The court must be shown evidence. What proof do you have that could possibly explain his silence in court? There's more to this, though, like the fact that they went missing. Oh, is this a Higurashi? Was the middle cut out? Because, like, look at the spacing of this. It's kind of weird. Oh, it's like, starts in the middle. Oh, hold on, my mouse is right here. Never mind. Never mind. That was exactly centered.
Take that!
This is the defense's answer to that question. What? Kazuma-sama knew the evidence being used to convict him was fabricated. Why would he have said nothing in this trial? For the dust of my innocence, I was blue in the face. If we're right about the autopsy results, there must have been a strong reason for his silence. Perhaps you're saying nothing in exchange for some sort of clemency? Enough rhetoric. Okay, yeah. Is it Kario? Telegram? No. No, not an evacuation drill. Karyoma? I mean, like the fact that he wanted his sword to be, like he loved his sword so much. But I mean, the Asugi's paper should have worked for that then. Sholmes, I need you! Oh, we haven't used this photograph yet, have we? Wait, does he have a color on? No. You have a color on? No. Oh, maybe... I wonder, do they have like a... The collar had a fancy bee on it, kind of. It looked like a bee. But... I don't see it anywhere. Because we have not used that photograph at all. So that's coming up later. Dismissal notice? Aiding and abetting. Convict engaged in some sort of negotiation with prison staff. Oh! He'd be quiet and they'd let him go.
Take that!
Sure that Genshin Asugi's silence during his trial resulted in his conviction, but that didn't actually lead to his execution. On the contrary, it led to his escape. Escape that was only possible because he'd been sentenced to death. Well, I find it hard to believe my father would have negotiated in that way. The defense is correct. A fake execution, falsification of a death certificate, and a jailbreak inside a coffin. Clearly such an elaborate plan couldn't have been carried out by my father alone. He must have had the help of a collaborator from the judiciary. I have here the dismissal notice of the chief warder who was working in the prison at the time. The notes read, there are indications that the jailbreak was in planning prior to the inmate's incarceration. In other words, there are suggestions of some sort of negotiation between Mr. Asugi and the British government. In exchange for his silence in court, he was given an assurance that he would be broken out of prison. Yes, with that sort of clandestine agreement in place, you can imagine he would have kept it very quiet. I'd go further than that, in fact. I would say that the elaborate jailbreak of Mr. Asugi can be explained in no other way. Order! Order! First fabricated evidence, now jailbreak conspiracy. Of course, this is all intimately linked. The prosecution wishes to summon new witnesses to the stand. Who are the warder and Mr. Vigil? Witnesses. People who can testify about the jailbreak that took place 10 years ago. Ah! Governor Caden, the poor chief warder of the prison. I won't allow this trial to turn into a farce. To summon the governor of the prison after all these years. Oh, wouldn't be any trouble, my lord. He's in the antechamber too. I was just talking to him. What? Father? My dear friend may appear a little rattle-pated at times. I can assure you he's extremely thorough. He wired both Barclay and the local prison earlier. Asking Governor Caden and Mr. Vigil to attend the Old Bailey is a matter of extreme urgency. Mr. Sholmes did that? He's so good. Are you telling me that? Both men are, unless I'm much mistaken, waiting just outside the courtroom at this very moment. My lord, you must permit this trial to proceed as you declared at its outset. You promised that we would stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Very well. Bring in the witnesses. Make no mistake, I too would like nothing more than to lay this business to rest once and for all. Watch them all 5 of them be on the stand now. No, just 3? Yeah, 3 and 6 is still there. Will the new witnesses state their names and occupations near the court, please? Aye, Barry Caden, Governor of Barclay Prison. Everyone calls me Gossip! I still— oh, he forgot you. Your other persona, if you don't mind. Oh, I do beg your pardon, of course. He forgot he wasn't in character. My name is Daily Vigil. Used to be the chief warder at Barclay Prison. The reason you've been summoned to court here today is to testify about the jailbreak of the so-called professor 10 years ago. Gosh, the professor? Already been through all this before. Decade ago. Conclusion: there was anything untoward happened. I don't know Scottish. I think he's supposed to be Scottish, right? Convict escaped from your prison, Governor. Hardly what you'd call nothing untoward. Ah, well. The convict's death certificate was somehow falsified after he was allegedly executed. He escaped this prison inside his own coffin. A plan of that complexity could never have been carried out without the help of somebody of influence inside the prison. Governor Caden, don't imagine that the passage of time will afford you any protection. If it turns out that you were involved in the plot to break Mr. Asuki out of prison, then of course, the consequences will be very serious. In all likelihood, a capital punishment. Jeez. Gads! Hold on there, laddie. All I did was— oh, he was about to talk. Witness, Governor Caden. Ah, aye, sir. You have a critical role to play in the public safety of our country. A great responsibility to shoulder. The significance of your testimony in court cannot be understated. Therefore, think carefully before you speak. And Prosecutor Asuki, if you threaten the witness again, you'll be held in contempt of court. My apologies, my lord. There's no disputing the fact that an intricate jailbreak plan was enacted 10 years ago. Clearly, we were both involved in some way. So you'll testify before the court now and explain exactly what took place. Very well. The witnesses give their formal testimony. Tell the court everything you know of the plot to break Asuki out of Barclay 10 years ago. How far in are we? A little over 30? I don't— remember, I said I don't know how much time I have today. I don't think I have time to get to the next testimony, which is, you know, how I like to cut it. So I think I'm going to stop there. That's like— I could stop there for today and be satisfied until tomorrow. Right? So I will see you guys next time. Bye.